Hi YouTube, today I'm going to show you how to make a custom palette compact with your makeup to save space. So what you're going to need is obviously your makeup and a tea strainer. And what I'm going to do is scrape the powder into this tea strainer to break it up and make it finely ground. And you can do this by just breaking up your makeup. If it's already broken, throw it in a Ziploc bag, smash it up. Just make sure that it's finely ground. So here I am taking the bottom of a makeup brush and just pushing it through the tea strainer. And you can see how loose the powder is now and how light it is. So what you're going to do is take your pan, and I purchased this pan online, and there is some rubbing alcohol, and that's 90% in a spray bottle. It's always easier to do it with a spray bottle. And what I'm doing is spraying the pan to make it moist, and then I'm going to put the powder in and pack it. And because I know where this makeup came from, and it was from me, and I'm very cleanly, and it didn't fall on the floor or anything. That's another thing. If your makeup breaks and it falls on the floor, what you're going to want to do is completely drench the powder in rubbing alcohol to get rid of the bacteria. And if you're just using pigments, you may need some Bondant, but because this was already pressed, I don't need any Bondant. So here's a little pressing pad that I made out of silly putty. I just pressed the silly putty in the pan, let it dry, and then pulled it out. And another quick tip, I'm using wax paper, and fold it in half before you lay it down, because if there's any excess, you can just dump it back into the pot. So there's my pressing pad, and you want to make sure that it fits perfectly in the pan. So I'm pressing it down and tapping off the excess. I'm putting some rubbing alcohol on it again. And that is a big piece of ribbon. You can get it at any craft store. I like to have the ribbon marks in my makeup when I'm pressing it, because it's easier to pick up with a brush. And don't be afraid to put too much pressure on it. You have the pad, and it's going to press the powder into the pan perfectly. So here I am with Ulta Fame. It came out of my Blockbuster. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did with the pressed powder. And I have a quarter pan instead. And there's the quarter pan. And the finely ground blush. And I know this might be a little repetition for you, so I'm not going to explain it over and over, but this is how I do my quarter pans. It's a little messier than the half pans. And that is just a standard kitchen scraper that I scraped up the excess with. And once again, don't be afraid to put a ton of pressure on it. I do have to stress that it is very important to have something that fits the size of your pan to press the makeup down. And here is part of my NYX medium bronzer that I put in a jar because it broke. So I didn't have to sift through it because it was already sifted. So here's the 3 pieces that I put together, and I'm using a Physicians Formula Bronzer Booster Compact, and I really like the top part, so I figured why mess with it. Now what I'm going to do is make sure that the pans fit, and you always want to do this first, but I'm just placing them in there to make sure how I want to position them. And then I'm going to take Elmer's rubber cement and just paste them in. And the importance of the Elmer's rubber cement, and I guess you could use a hot glue gun. I prefer the Elmer's rubber cement because once you hit pan or you want to change up a color for the season, it's just easier to pull it out with a knife or something, like pop it out, without doing a whole bunch of stuff. If you use super glue, it is really hard and you end up bending the pans and the makeup ends up getting crushed, etc. And a little trick, if you don't want your fingerprints in the makeup, just push down on the sides of the pan. They should be higher than your makeup if you're using a pressing pad. And there is the finished product. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching.